What?
Today's
Session.
Yeah, but I explained to you how my world is getting circumscribed, little by little.
very.
Hmm?
Feel a changed person inside.
Who?
At least when I was listening. Feel a change inside, Master.
Yes, it's good.
Many will weep like this when they see it.
Those who are receptive will weep, and it will clean.
That impact is here. I can't believe it.
You can feel it?
Yeah, this is so intense,
Because I speak, from a need to help people,
Yeah.
not just lecturing,
No, it's not
for a
lecture.
fee, no.
It's something that is transmitted.
For peace of mind.
Receptors are not working. I mean, it's not enough to give the things. Fearlessly, we have to teach. No. Without fear or favor. You remember, Yasmin, perhaps, how many times I have said in all along that, like the followers of Christ, like Christ himself, if the time comes, we must be prepared to give our lives for this cause.
Guys,
Yes.
he said that it's this.
So many times I've said.
And we have to live like that.
You have to live like that. What is life if it has no purpose?
Now, what are yours that are not ready for that? That have many crowds but not no quality.
This is the argument I have with my son. He says, stay at home over here. I said, my life, if I am living now, it is only for work. No. Because when I was Trichy, before I went to hospital, everybody was sure I was off. Off thank you. Off thank you, let us say. But I had the distinct impression, when I was in the ambulance, that I had gone up and I was sent back. So I was very angry with Babaji. I had to, because when the Guru says, well, I don't mind, but do you think you have completed your work? So, I had to come back, also for you. Eh? So, you see, if I don't use that time for his work, just to lie on a bed and say he's alive, it's no meaning.
And we could all become like this a little bit, like this life would be maintaining us.
You see, for me, life is work. At particular stage, we think we are working for ourselves. Then you marry, you have a family. Now you have a sense of responsibility. You have to feed your family because you love them. You have to provide for their future, okay. Then if that love continues to expand, you will have to do it for more and more people, no? And then for your country, then for the whole world. No, I am against people who say I will only give my money to, say, Marwadi Trust or Islamic charities. Why? Human beings are human beings. That's why I told you that the story of the old woman who left $6 million for her cats. Isn't it? I mean, agreed, cats are life, but if you give it to a woman, she will also pay for the cat's upkeep. And I have this theory, I may talk about it if I remember it, that because human beings have lost the capacity to love, and they have to love something, they have loved pets. Pets are a substitute. Not the real.
Any human love will be frustration.
Yes.
Because you don't love anything, you just love this person.
So they keep pythons, alligators in bathtubs. Have you heard of such nonsense? In New York they have. And the law can do nothing because it's in his house. Until it jumps out of the bathtub, opens the door and kills the neighbor. Then it is a menace. Then they will send the SAT, what is it? SWAT team. For one alligator. One for the fire escape, one for... And Mama mia. Were you here to hear?
No, Master, I was just out of earshot, but it was my fault.
You could have come and sat there. Because today the rain was there, so it was in this room. Also, I appear a little,
It's nice. No,
like
this
Jung
is
or something.
Carl.
very nice.
I feel happy because Jung, you see, with all his books behind him,
Like that.
is, why not me?
Yes.
Natural
Human.
and pertaining to our daily life at any level of human beings. To the saint, to the sinner, to the rich man, to the poor man, to anybody.
Master, I mean, if you not love animals, you think that people are capable of loving humans?
Huh?
The people who don't love animals, you think they are capable of loving human beings?
No, you are reversing the question just for argument. Loving humans, loving animals doesn't mean having to keep 100 cats at home. Do you have cats at home?
Dogs.
How many? You love your dog, but does it mean you don't love your parents? So don't ask silly questions.
But Master, you can be more radical even. Don't think that is criticism or anything. We don't, I think you can be more radical. You can be.
I can be.
Should
Oh, yes, he can.
should
No, I
be.
can be, but should I be? So,
Yes.
Yes, but I think we need to understand that we don't have that time. I think you're trying to, I don't know.
well, as I go on,
Oh, that's, yes. Master, I was looking
this is
up-
only the smoke coming out of the
Yeah, with
volcano.
more lightness, it is necessary. It is necessary.
Oh, I'm just exaggerating.
I know, Master, Sir, I was looking up singularity. I was Googling it, trying to find out more about this because
A singularity is a dimensionless point. That's all. And really, a point has no dimension, but not a point as you do with a pencil, because it has definitely dimension. This is something dimensionless. No length, no breadth, no height. All three dimensions are absent. Yet it is a point. You can always imagine a point in space. No? You can't specify it. You can't draw it.
and you explained
You know, when you talk of dot matrix printing, what do you see? You look with a magnifying glass, you see dots, you know. If you look at a newspaper with a magnifying glass, if an ant were to go over a picture, it wouldn't see the picture, it would only see dots. However close they may be, whatever may be the resolution. See? Understand?
But it wouldn't become a black hole then?
That is interesting. You know, I had a science fiction story which I read some 30 years ago. There's a German professor who's doing research into space-time. So he has a theory, you know, and he develops it. He creates a selenium plate, you know, about 25 centimeters by 25 centimeters square. He wires up his assistant to a particular machine and makes him stand on it. And he says, you will shrink, but your voice will not fade, I will see to it. He does something. And he starts the machine, you know. This fellow goes on shrinking. Slowly. And then at one point, he feels, you know, he is standing on a field full of furrows, crisscross furrows, which is the structure of the selenium. And in between are the holes. And at one point, he is so small, he falls through a hole, you know. And then he finds, as he emerges on the other side, he sees a huge sun, you know. And it is attracting him. And as he goes nearer and nearer, from a particular planet, missiles are hurled at him, because now he is becoming bigger and bigger to them. See? And they attack him. But he manages to land safely on that planet and comes down to normal size of the beings of those planets and continues to shrink. You know, and he's standing on a leaf. And he grows into that leaf, you know. And he shrinks and he passes through the leaf. He emerges on the other side, another world. So there are worlds this side, there are worlds that side. Infinity, infinitesimal. You can never go out.
Master, in the singularity, speaking of Yasmina's being more radical, I came upon singularity that means spiritual by Shahjahnpur. And he speaks of
Who?
This French, he was a pastor or something, and he went to China. Remember,
Ilya?
No, he's French. Teilhard de Jardin.
He's-
Oh, Teilhard de Jardin. He was a geologist.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
He was a paleontologist, actually.
And he speaks of the omega point. And this is a spiritual singularity.
The church, went against him,
In the end.
and all his books were published after he died. They refused to publish Catholic Church.
But he's a guru of all this movement of evolution of consciousness in the US.
This is it. He speaks of the biosphere evolving into the newest.
Yes.
And so
You find it to some extent in the novel Dune by Frank Herbert. How that waterless planet, there is this planetary cosmologist or whatever it is, and he creates water.
but the whole of the planet evolving as consciousness evolves.
That is also the philosophy of Gaia, as they say. Mother Earth with one consciousness. This you find again in the Dune, chapter of Dune, the Heretics of Dune.
I was
Hmm?
It concerns everything, the plant,
Yes, contains them.
and everything is.
These are like the molecules and atoms in our body. What we would be if our molecules and atoms, which constitute our physical self, became conscious.
and then with this idea of entanglement, I don't like them calling it entanglement. I'd rather it be connectedness or something like this. With the electron on one side, they did in that movie, they do something and the electron does instantly, this other electron does instantly the same thing. That if one biosphere somewhere in the universe evolves,
We should get his books for our Crest library. Teilhard, the Chardin.
and we have a couple, sir, already.
Huh?
There's a couple already.
There?
At Trust, yes.
Then I must have got them.
I'll check. Again,
I'll check the library list.
So, Master,
I bought all his books in the 60s. I've read them in the 60s.
so if there is an evolution in one planetary system, from biosphere to noosphere, and then with this idea of entanglement, say another planet or another across from the other side of the galaxy or in another galaxy, it can be felt as a ripple.
This is a well-known theory, even in modern times, that spring comes, there may be the first sparrow, but soon there are sparrows everywhere. At the same time, there was Confucius, Lao Tse, Buddha,
They all
Yes.
simultaneous.
simultaneous.
What is it called, sir? Synchronicity.
Synchronicity, let us say.
This book, The Field.
They,
The Field. The Field.
or the pie,
Field.
The field.
who wrote it?
It is written by an investigative journalist. I can't remember her name.
The lady,
Yeah. She talked to the field.
So everything is connected.
She talked to about 100 scientists, top of the line scientists,
Hmm.
who've been doing research on unconventional physics.
Hmm.
They all pointed out to a field, or an ocean of ocean.
Oh, the field.
Yes. Which is neutral, which is called the 0 point. When I read it, I felt that master is the field. It is connecting everything together. It's consciousness.
Master is not a field. He generates a field, like a magnet generates a field. We have been talking about this theory so many times.
Field in the knower of the field. Even Krishna, Lord Krishna speaks.
The Gita speaks of it. The Kshetragya. The Kshetra and the Kshetragya. You see, we used to have in school this simple experiment. We have a glass plate. You put a bar magnet below it. Its field is like this, You drop iron filings on top. They replicate that magnetic field.
Yeah.
Because they go along that field, you see. And you see the field clearly.
But that's magnetic and there's electric and there is.
No there's no electric and magnetic, there's no electromagnetism.
Yeah, but beyond that there's a spiritual field. And that's what she's
I'm not talking of dividing the field into whatever it is. Similarly, there's a spiritual field. That's why I spoke of Satkol and Manapakam as being the north and south poles of a spiritual magnet. And who made this magnet? The master. It was a one-point magnet. Now it is a bar magnet. Hopefully one day it will be a ring magnet around the world.
You know, they're all talking about going beyond magnetism, in the sense that in the
No,
next
you are
dimension-
sticking to physics.
Yeah, beyond that. That means not material.
A magnetic force is anything which attracts.
Yeah.
Therefore, you talk of personal magnetism,
Physical.
isn't it? It's not physical. Personal, see, physical magnetism is something else. It's the power of attraction of the body, the physique, the face. You understand? Like pictures in the Vogue or in Playboy. But personal magnetism is like charisma, for instance. What is charisma? You feel pulled. He may be an ugly person. I like my boss, whom I work for in TTK, a terribly magnetic person, and he was black South Indian, with a leonine head, But when he spoke utter nonsense sometimes, I remember we were in Germany together, and we were thinking of some production plant in India, pharmaceutical plant. I was the speaker on our side, and they had 7 German experts. They have an expert for electricity, one for this, one for that. Her doctor, Richter, will answer. Is it 240 volts? Ja, ich glaube. 240. Over. I had to face 7 people because my boss wanted me, like in spirituality, my boss wanted me to talk everywhere. In my company, I had to talk everywhere. Pachu, 240? Yes. 240. So they said we need a lot of pigs because from a particular gland of the pigs it was. So this man said, Chari will confirm to you that we have plenty of pigs in India. I laughed, I said that's probably the only truth he has spoken that day. In a different. It's like that island of Sers, where everything was turned into pigs. Scylla and Charybdis.
But it's not forceless force. One step further is forceless force. You won't feel the magnetism of a person, but still he or she does.
You never see it. I am talking of persons who have this, who you would call ugly, deformed, but they have it. Majuscule E, majuscule T.
But not this kind of magnetism.
Which kind?
You said this person.
No, in spirituality, you may even not see the person who is talking to you, but it is there. See. Like the gravity, as I've often told, we have exchanged notes. It is a weak force, and it keeps planetary and whole galaxies together in the universe.
As you were saying the other day, on October 14th, I know Mr. Duffy listening to this, you were saying about Babaji being God, and the Nazis not knowing even why they were attracted.
He was loved, there's no question about it. He did not love.
Yes, being loved.
I mean, in a conventional sense, he loved his wife, children.
And you liken, sir, that to the attraction. It was that we all feel so pulled. I mean, we're somehow, and you once said that in this metaphor of being, what is it that is pulled toward love? Who is it, or really, or what is it? That we must make our, like that magnet, that field, it only affects the iron filings if there's wood or anything like that. So that you gave the analogy a long time ago that our job as Nazis is to become that which is affected by the field.
These people have all been saying that when I give these talks, they are unable to keep their eyes open. That is because I never forget my fundamental job of spirituality.
Master, I listened to your video, or see your video. I can't keep my eyes open more than 20 minutes. You remember when you gave the talk in NDDB, the talk which is never recorded, when the system failed. That talk, everybody was sleeping. The whole audience was sleeping.
You know, that so long as I remember, and remember what? Not that I have to transmit, but to him. The word goes, the words come. I never plan what I'm going to say. I don't know, I'm reluctant to speak. Today I was particularly reluctant. But when I came